Well, we're happy today to be celebrating Ernestine's 80th birthday. I met Ernestine in Clovis, New Mexico at the Cattlemen's Club where she was waiting tables.
And she caught your eye, huh?
Oh, yes, she taught this Iowa boy how to farm, Iowa farm boy how to dance. And we romanced and married in December of 1953. We lived in downtown Clovis, New Mexico in an apartment until my time of discharge from the Air Force in January of 1955, and then we traveled to Sioux Center where I was born and raised, and my parents were living. We stayed with them for a short time, traveled to Ames to talk to the registrar about enrolling in veterinary medicine. My dad went with me to Ames. Ernestine stayed with my mother in Sioux Center. We talked to the registrar, and he looked at my high school records and he said, Orvin, I think it would be best if you went to a junior college for a while to get reaccustomed to studying, and I was determined that I would do better than I had done in high school. And he said in a major college like this, it's either sink or swim. And I told him I got to get through this.
You can.
I told him I would sink or swim right at Iowa State. And so with determination, I did do my pre-veterinary requirements and passed the interview for admittance to veterinary school, and was happy a short time later to receive an acceptance to veterinary medicine, and spent an additional 4 years after 3 years of pre-veterinary work in vet medicine courses, and graduated in 1962. We moved to, I accepted a job in Rock Valley, Iowa, which is 15 miles from my hometown, as a partner with Dr. Simonson. And I was there in a large animal practice and mixed practice for 23 years, and then we moved to Texas, to Fort Worth. I spent a short time in meat inspection at IBP in Amarillo, Texas. Didn't really like that type of work, so we moved back to Fort Worth, where I set up a private veterinary practice dealing with, to begin with cattle, horses, and dogs and cats, and it gradually was whittled down to just horses and small animals. So we spent the remainder of my veterinary career in a little wide spot in the road called Retta, which was not an incorporated town or anything. It was just like I said, a wide spot in the road, and practiced there until 2010, And then I was needing a hip or a knee replacement, so I retired at that point, and I had been working for a couple of years doing nothing but small animal surgery, neutering and spaying dogs and cats for another veterinarian. And I didn't think that I would ever do that many surgeries in one day, but my record was 16 surgeries
Wow.
at that location, and of course I didn't have to do any of the prepping or anything. I was at the surgery table and they would bring me the patients already prepped and ready to do surgery, so that was why I was able to accomplish that many in one day.
Surgery was always your forte, wasn't it?
Yes, I enjoyed surgery, and so I enjoyed the last couple of years closing out my veterinary career for a total of 50 years. And we are just returning back to Texas from a trip to Ames, Iowa State University, where I met with my graduating class from veterinary medicine with a 50-year reunion. There were 62 in my graduating class. Of course, they were spread out all over the United States, and there were 22 that were at the 50th year reunions. We had lost 8 from our class over the years, and so we had a nice time talking about our years in veterinary school. And now we are in the process of heading back soon to Fort Worth, Texas, where we live. And we're at Hilda's now in Cedar Falls, having a nice visit, and we'll be boarding the plane in Cedar Rapids tomorrow, on Thursday, to fly back to Dallas, Fort Worth, and back to our home where we have 3 other children living.